Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. I'm Dalia Gibu, and I'm back with you to tell you a little bit about itineraries in South America and how to build these itineraries across the region and how to mix and match. Okay, a lot of people when they come to South America, they prefer to do two or three countries together and not one at a time. I would hope that everybody would do and take their time to do only one country, but I'm going to show you a few combinations that are popular in our destinations. As you know, we have our presence all around South America with offices in Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, and Brazil. And we do different type of trips, so from special interest groups to private jet operations, but our main core is the private travel for FIT. So today we're going to be talking more or less about this type of trips for individuals, for couples, for families, for a group of friends, or just solo travelers. So one of the best combined programs would be the Galapagos and Peru. So what we do in Ecuador and how we build the itinerary in Ecuador would be we fly to Quito or Guayaquil, but the main hub for Ecuador would be probably Quito from many of the international destinations. And we'll spend here a minimum of 2 nights. So everything that I put here would be a minimum of nights, but of course you can do more. And I would recommend always that you do a little bit more, but this is the minimum. We know that not everybody has the full time and 2 or 3 weeks to do it all together. So 2 nights in Quito, four nights in Galapagos is great, and one night in Guayaquil, and then we move on to Peru. So this is Quito. So Margarita has told you in her webinars all about the city and the things that we could do as A and K. So we can do it right as a local. We could do different experiences in the main in the old town with local experts, or even making the local ice cream. Um, One of the preferred properties in Quito would be Casa Gangotena, which is a virtuoso property, and also the Ila Hotel, which is a great property, also a small boutique that offers great gastronomy. So for your clients that are foodies, definitely I would recommend the culinary and cooking experience at Ila. And then we fly to Galapagos. So from Quito, we take a 2.5 hour flight to the Galapagos Islands. And here you see the map. So we're going to fly to Baltra, which is near the Santa Cruz Island. You can see a little airplane here. And then navigate through different itineraries depending on how many nights you want to spend in Galapagos. Then you go through the different islands, being the west, the north, the south islands. So we have different ships, the smaller ships like the Endemic. We have bigger ships. We can do also uh, the lodges like Bicaya Lodge or Finch Bay, Galapagos Safari Camp. And then after those 4 or 5 nights, we move on to Guayaquil. So we fly back to mainland, and then we stay one night at Guayaquil. Guayaquil does offer different options, as Margarita also told you. There are many insider access and things that we could do there, including the chocolate experience at the Hacienda. But one night, it's okay. If you want to stay 2 nights in Guayaquil, that's great. But with that one night, you can connect to Lima. So there are direct flights from Guayaquil to Lima daily. So that's a great option. Why doing this before Peru? So I would always recommend to do Ecuador first because of location. So we are flying shorter from mainly from the US. Most of you will be listening from. So from the US to Quito is really short flight, and then just do kind of your experience. And Galapagos is a very active destination. We would do 2 excursions per day, 3 excursions per day. The accommodations are great, but I would suggest we do Galapagos first, all those water experiences, we move on to Peru, where the accommodation everywhere it's a little bit more upscale. So that's why I would recommend first Ecuador, then Peru. In Ecuador, you can also extend. So if you want to spend more time in Ecuador, you can extend to Machu Picchu for 2 or 3 nights, or to the north, Hacienda Zuleta, for 2 or 3 nights, then move on to, or the Amazon, and then move on to Peru. When we arrive to Lima, we can go straight to Sacred Valley. So flying into Lima, overnighting, and then go to Sacred Valley. But I would recommend that you always come, sorry, because I'm in Lima, come to Lima for a couple of nights. I told you how many things you can do, and especially with the food scene we have here, it's great. And then go to Sacred Valley for 2 or 3 nights. I say three, please. Let's encourage our clients to spend more time in the Sacred Valley. There are many active things to do, or just relax. 1 night in Machu Picchu, and then 2 or 3 nights in Cusco. So here are some of the highlights. We can do graffiti in Lima, swimming with sea lions, culinary experiences. The hotels, well, we have Hotel B in Barranco, which is my favorite. We have the Belmont Miraflores Park, so that's where to stay in Lima. Or more of a B&B, we have a Temporal Hotelito. Then the Sacred Valley, with lots of culture from Asian cultures as well, with the visit to our Village of the Flowers, or our philanthropy projects, and beautiful properties all around the Sacred Valley. Being Soliluna, my favorite in the Sacred Valley, along with Inca Terra Urubamba. And then for spa, if clients love spa, there is Tambo del Inca. Or if you want to be a little bit more adventurous, you have Sky Lodge or Explora, for someone who wants to do more excursions in the mountain. So you go to Machu Picchu by Hiram Bingham, or the different trains we have, Machu Picchu and then Cusco. So these are some of the properties that I already show you during my presentation about Machu Picchu, Sacred Valley, and Cusco. And then I was suggesting 2 or 3 nights in Cusco, because if people want to do the Rainbow Mountain, then we have to add one more night in order to do this full day to the Rainbow Mountain. We can even continue. So if you want to do 2, 3, 4 weeks in between Ecuador and Peru, there is a lot to see. So we can extend to the Southern Andes with the Andean Explorer, or go to the Amazon for 3 nights. Okay, with the different boats from Aqua Expedition and Delphin. Rodrigo was talking about these boats on Monday, so you can revisit and listen to the recording of his webinar. I'm sorry, it was Labor Day. I know a lot of you were celebrating. I hope you had a great celebration, but we'll have all the recordings available when you want to watch. Another great itinerary, one itinerary that I really love, is that combination of Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. I know it's a little bit long, but it's a great way to see landscape, culture, and great food. So we're talking about Lima for 2 nights. So same itinerary as I just mentioned for highlights of Peru. So 2 nights Lima, 2 or 3 nights Sacred Valley, 1 night Machu Picchu, 2 or 3 Cusco, and then we move on to Lake Titicaca. So here we can do 1 night Belmont Onion Explorer, going to Lake Titicaca, and 2 nights at Titilaca. Then move on, cross the lake, move on to La Paz for a couple of nights, fly to the salt flats of Uyuni for 2 nights, and 1 night in on the way, either at Taica or Malcu, which is located on the way from Bolivia to the Atacama Desert. And then 3 or 4 nights in Atacama. And lastly, 2 nights in Santiago or the wine region if you want to avoid the crowds nowadays. So this is a little bit of the Altiplano experience. We already seen the pictures of Cusco, so I want to show you some pictures of the Lake Titicaca, Titilaca property. Then moving on to Bolivia and La Paz for some gastronomic experiences. Amazing coffee and great tanat in La Paz. I was really surprised. Cable car. That's that first view that I was telling you from the top of the city, and the great transportation system that the people of La Paz have these days. And where to stay is Atix. So Atix is the first choice to stay in La Paz. And then, of course, to the salt flats of Uyuni. This is the rainy season. So you can see the mirror effect uh, from January until March. We can do sundowners. We can have a chef. As you can see, we're having so much fun right there at the salt flats. We can stay in campers for 1 or 2 nights, or in hotel made of salt, or in the dome, Skachi Lodge. And then we do all this driving to experience to Atacama. So we could stay at Awasi, and also Brigitte has talked about Atacama in her itinerary. So there are the many choices. And of course, we have Alto Atacama that also we can incorporate the glamping experience. So these will have to be 4 nights in order to incorporate the glamping experience in Atacama. And then Santiago, where we could have more of the culinary experiences. That's why I was telling you, it's all about the culture, it's all about the landscape and the culinary experiences. So it's really a fantastic trip. It's probably one of my favorite trips in South America. So more culinary experiences or harvest tea. So here we finish also with great wine. So you can say at the singular. And another great combination now that we move on to the south, and I'm sorry that I'm being a little bit too fast. I hope that all of you are keeping up with my energy today. Have lots of energy today, but we have to do this in 20 minutes. Okay, let's go. So we go to Argentina and Brazil, and Argentina and Brazil is a winning combination. A lot of people they do Argentina and Brazil together, or Chile and Argentina together. We're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But Buenos Aires is a fantastic city. I know that now post pandemic, uh, maybe a great choice would be to stay in one of the estancias outside Buenos Aires. And remember, we do have a portfolio of private villas and private estancias and private haciendas all around South America that we will be sending soon. And maybe it would be good to do another webinar. We'll let you know. Now you gave me this idea. Uh, but we could stay in one estancia for 3 nights, 2 nights, if we don't want to stay in the city. But in the city, please, if you haven't been to Buenos Aires, at least 3 nights is recommended in Buenos Aires. There is so much to see, so much to try. It's a fantastic city. It's our little Paris of South America. So I never get tired of visiting Buenos Aires, and every time I go, I see something new. So it's really worth going, even if you have been before for a short time. Then Mendoza. So here we have the beautiful Malbec, but not only the Malbec, but they have different type of wine. And one of my favorites nowadays is the Cabernet Franc. And here we have different also wine experiences, culinary experiences, and outdoors. And we move on to Iguazu Falls for 2 nights, and then to Rio. So we're doing all the different route from the city to the wine region to nature wonders and, well, another wonder of the world in Rio de Janeiro. So here's some of the pictures of Buenos Aires. So here we have different sceneries from the city, from the old town to Puerto Madero, where we have now all these new restaurants scene. And then we have Delta del Tigre. We can do dinner on the river. We could do different culinary experiences in local places and hidden places. We could do polo experiences as well, tango with locals. There are so many things, as I was saying, some parrilla, and I'm getting hungry with all this. I hope you are too. And also then we have to burn calories, so we can do bike tours and so on. So we could stay at different hotels. So we have the iconic Four Seasons and Alvear Palace and Park Hyatt and so on. But also there is this not new, but recently new Alvear Icon in Puerto Madero. And of course we have different boutique properties, and especially in Palermo and Recoleta areas like Legado Mítico in Palermo. And then we fly to Iguazu Falls, short flight, and then we can do the full moon tour or just flying over Iguazu Falls or even some culinary experiences and some fun. We can stay at Belmont das Cataratas. We do have amazing rates for next year as well. And all the specials with our main partners. We've been working really hard to get the best rate, the most flexible terms and conditions. So please let us know. Let's take advantage of that. Let's encourage our clients to come to our destinations because now is the time. Less crowds. Well, not now, but at the end of the year and the next year would be the time because we have great rates. So there is a really great value for what they're paying and less people in the places and all the protocols, all the things we need to safeguard our clients. So we can stay at Aguas Iguazu on the Argentinian side. I'm not going to repeat everything because you have heard it on the webinars, but just to show you what we could do during these days in the destination, behind the scenes of the carnivals. I love this. I haven't done this yet, but we can go into H Stern um, uh, Vault and try all this jewelry. Oh, that would be amazing. I would love to do that next time. Take a note, Mikael, that I want to do that next time. I'm in Rio. You can see I film on Copacabana Palace. Or different hotels. There is the Emiliano, the Fairmont also that they are open to the public now. Belmont Copacabana Palace, the Fairmont, and everybody's just being careful. Our office in Rio, it's back as well. So our team is going into in different shifts, but they are going to the office now. So Rio, it's they're doing a great job of keeping the social distancing, but keeping the economy moving and things going back to normal. So that's great. Kudos to my Brazil team. So another great program, and now that we just talked about Brazil, is combining Peru with Brazil and seeing the wonders of South America. So, yes, we do that same Cusco, Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu program that I showed you. We can add on the Amazon for 3 or 4 nights, and then we have to fly to Lima for 1 night to connect. The next day, we can fly to Foz do Iguaçu. We have this fantastic flight from Lima to Foz do Iguaçu that has been very popular. So you would see Machu Picchu, wonder of the world, Amazon, nature wonder of the world. It was also nature wonder of the world, and Rio de Janeiro, where you have the Christ Redeemer. So this is a really also a fantastic trip that you can do any time of the year, and you will see all these wonders. So for people who want to cross it off the list and take great pictures, but also enjoy vibrant city, great culinary experience, and nature and history, this is a great itinerary. And I know we were talking about combined programs, but Brazil usually, what we do in Brazil is we take our time to explore. It's a huge country. Is actually having like a combined or regional program just in one country because they do have a lot of things to see. So of course, Sao Paulo is the main gate, and staying in Sao Paulo, we talk about all the different culinary experiences. Sao Paulo for me is kind of like the Melbourne of South America because it does have all that. It's a big city, yes, but it does have all that great restaurants, great culinary scene, and the graffiti and art. So it's a very artsy city. It's very modern. So it's a beautiful, beautiful city to visit. Don't think it's just for business. It's really it has some hidden places. So many hidden places and hidden things to do. Then we go to Pantanal, so we fly to see jaguars, to see capybaras, blue macaws, and all this fantastic wildlife, our Okavango Delta in South America for wildlife. And then we go to Iguazu Falls to see more nature, then fly to Rio, and then move on up to Salvador. Or instead of Salvador, we can also do a beach destination to relax at the end. So this is kind of moving into one continent just in Brazil because you have so much to see, and it's a vast country. So here are some of the pictures of the Pantanal with the wildlife, and some of the lodges like Cayman Lodge in the South Pantanal, and this is Salvador. I want to show you some of the pictures where the culinary is seen, and culture experiences and the music and the dancing and all that with the hotels. So another great combined program would be to do all the South. So CAB, Chile, Argentina, and Brazil. So this we are talking about doing the lake crossing. And now we can even spend more time in the Lake District. I put Puerto Varas for tonight, but we can actually do also other properties on the Lake District like Vira Vira for 3 or 4 nights instead of Puerto Varas or before Puerto Varas. We can do Futanga Lodge. We can stay even at Mari Mari, and then cross and then stay at Puerto Varas and cross to Bariloche. So there is more time to spend in this area with the new properties that have opened in the last years, but this would be kind of the typical and original program of the Lake District: Santiago, Puerto Varas, Bariloche, then go to Buenos Aires, Iguazu, and Rio de Janeiro. So you have here also great scenic places where you could do some active things and take great pictures, a great culinary experience as well. So in Puerto Varas, we can stay at Agua or Cumbres for a couple of nights, and then we go to Bariloche where we have Xiao Xiao. Here also in Bariloche, we have villas available. So, and remember, here in the Lake District is where we're having at the end of the year our eclipse on December 14. So also we can enjoy different, a unique once in a lifetime experience here. So another great program, and I'm sorry I'm extending a lot. There's a lot to talk about the different programs in South America. And always use me as your main point of contact, and use me and Mauricio that know the region quite well, so we can help you put these puzzles together. Uh, this is a great program for foodies, for people who love wine. So think about this. You go to Santiago, and you can, if you have been to Santiago, you can skip it. You can go direct to the wine region. But there are many wine regions, as Brigitte was saying in her webinar. We can do Casablanca, which is towards most to the west, or we can do more of the south, and we can stay at Vic, for example, or La Postol. That's another wine region. And then we can move on to Mendoza. We fly, very short flight, less than an hour from Santiago to Mendoza, and spend 3 or even 4 nights. And we could stay at different properties on the Luján de Cuyo or Uco Valley, depending on how close you want to be to the city, or the property that you prefer. Okay, so then we go to Salta. So Salta is in the northern part of Argentina. In the area of Cafayate is where we have our beautiful Torrontés wine, which is the white wine, the best white wine that you can find in South America. And here I put 4 nights because it's not just about the wine, but all the scenery you find around. And also Veronica has talked about Salta. I actually, the first time I was in Salta, I spent 6 nights between Cafayate, Salta, Pumamarca, and all the places. So it was fantastic. And then end in Buenos Aires with some more parrilla, some more asado, barbecue, and empanadas. So for people who love food, and don't forget to watch also the the Netflix show Street Food Latin America. The first chapter, the first episode is about Buenos Aires, and it's one of my favorite chapters and it talks about it talks about different street food in Buenos Aires, and there are so many choices. Uh, so we're talking about here again Santiago. I'm going to pass by a little bit faster so we can move on to the next itinerary. So this is Mendoza and then the north of Argentina in this Cafayate area where you could do all these different active things, scenery things, and also the wine. Okay, so we finished with our Patagonia itinerary, so southern Patagonia. So again, Santiago for 2 nights or the wine region. So you can go straight to the wine region for a couple of nights, and then uh, we take you to the airport and we fly to Puerto Natales, hopefully when the flights are available during the high season. And we spend 4 nights in Torres del Paine on the Patagonian side, on the Chilean side of the Patagonia. From there, we take you by road to El Calafate. El Calafate for 2 nights minimum, please. And then from here, you can also stand to El Chaltén. So Calafate, the good thing about Calafate is we can go by road to El Chaltén, which is the mecca for people who love trekking. We can also go to Ushuaia if people want to see a little bit more of Patagonia and go farther south. We can go to Ushuaia for a couple of nights. Or also in the season, we can go to see Puerto Madryn. So to see more of the wildlife of the Patagonia. So there are many things we can incorporate in the itinerary with easier flights in Argentina by Aerolíneas Argentinas. So it's very we can extend very much. So here we're seeing Patagonia with some of the wildlife viewing that we could do on the on Patagonia. So here on the we have also the estancias and the gauchos, so more of the cultural life, and of course the hiking and the horseback riding and biking. Here, this is an active place where social distancing also is natural. So from here as well, we can, if we wanted to do something more like fly and cruise Antarctica, we can go to see Antarctica, and then we go back to Punta Arenas, to the Chilean side of the Patagonia, and then we can move on to the Argentinian side. These are some of the properties that we find on the Chilean side, like the Singular that also already has opening dates for this year, which is fantastic. And then we have Tierra Patagonia, Aguasi Patagonia, and then we move on to El Calafate for some mini trekking on the glaciers and staying in my favorite property in El Calafate, Eolo. As I said, we can also do El Chaltén. Explora is opening at the end of the year, a property in El Chaltén. So, and then we could do all these different experiences, mini trekking and go to the glacier bar, see a little bit more of the gaucho life. So this in a nutshell is a little bit of the different multi-country programs. There are many other choices because in these last years, we have LATAM has opened different flights to combine more of South America. So we had the Cusco Santiago flight, for example, where we could do Machu Picchu and then go to Chile and maybe do a little bit more of the wine region and Patagonia. We had this Lima Calama flight too, so we can combine Peru with Atacama and then move on south to southern Chile. So there are many, many choices. We hope that all these new flights uh, keep operating when we reopen to tourism. So on next week we are going to have an update. I'm not going to talk about that today because the next week we'll have a full update with Mario and myself about the reopening of South America and what we have the latest news we have for the reopening of South America. Oops, I'm sorry, Jane, that I was going too fast through the slides because we were time limited with the webinar. But I will send also some sample programs that we have with some itineraries, so not just the regional ones, but also the itineraries we have for each country. So you can have them on your files. We have these, so I was in this PDF that has the net pricing and also the different plus commission on different levels. So then you click on the name of the program and it will pop up a PDF that you can download without pricing. So you can send this PDF to your clients just to give them an idea of what they could do in South America for I don't know a week, 10 days, depending on where they want to go, and then you can tell them the price according to the PDF to that guide, and we do have two different levels of pricing on many itineraries. So we have, of course, the luxury with the virtuoso properties and so on, and then we have more affordable pricing as well for that itinerary. So you can choose and show your clients what they could do depending on their budget and how many days they want to spend in South America and the things they want to visit. So I hope that oh yes, Rishi, thank you for letting me know. I am very sorry that I didn't fix this problem on the system when they sent you a follow-up for the Peru webinars because it was sending you the wrong file, which was a Pantanal file. We were waiting for the approval of our destination spotlights of Peru. So I will make sure to follow up as well and send all of you the different destination spotlights for Peru, as well as these sample programs that I'm telling you. And at the end of all these webinars, a PDF with all the recordings. So in case you have missed anything, you will have one source to just go and click and listen to the recordings. And also, if you want to share with your colleagues, I'll appreciate it very much. So I'm not gonna take more time of you. I already took 33 minutes. I'm trying my best to keep it on time. But thank you so much for your time today. And just let me know if you have any questions. If you need, also if you need a call to talk about your itineraries or what you want to present to your clients, we are always happy to pick up the phone or do a Zoom call to talk about different options and even do conference calls with you and your clients. So use us as your partners in the destinations, as your people in the destination, all when you can. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye bye.